Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Jane. My husband Mike is behind the camera. We're British, early retirees, debt and mortgage free, living a thrifty and frugal life on a super tight budget here in Brittany in northwest France. And every Friday we open our kitchen and cook some thrifty, frugal food for you. Let's take a look at what we've cooked for you this week. I am here at a friend's invitation picking as many apples as I like. I've never seen such abundance and such huge apples, and they are just, where am I getting there? Just amazing apples this year, really good. These are all cooking apples. I'm going to make what the French call compote, which we would call applesauce. I'm going to make apple pie filling. I'm going to make my friend a load of crumbles and little like takeaway dishes for her to have as well. So that's what I'm doing with these, and there's just so many of them. I'm very glad I've been saving all my jam jars. So applesauce, apple pie filling, apple batter, apple. What an abundance. This week is all about apples. A friend of mine has several apple trees and has told me to help myself. So the first thing that we've done with the apples, and we'll process more in different ways this week, is we have made applesauce. Now if you're British, you'll be used to buying Bramley apples for cooking, for making applesauce, for making apple crumble, for making apple pies, all year round. Well, first of all, I can't get hold of Bramley apples at all here in France. And secondly, I've got so many apples, I wanted to process apples so I could have applesauce that would last me for a few months. So this week I have made applesauce, and I've bottled it, or canned it as you Americans would call it. We say we've put it, if it's in a bottle, we say we've bottled it. So I have bottled applesauce this week, and I have sterilized it as well, and you'll see me do that to make it last longer. It's not been pressure canned, so it won't last years, but it will last anything up 6 to 12 months. And of course, we'll keep our eyes open to see if any changes or if there's any air bubbles in it. So without further ado, as I say in these videos, let's get cooking. Normally when I cook, I go through lots of different ingredients. Well, as I'm making applesauce today, all that goes in my applesauce is apples. I put a squirt of lemon juice in there as well because we like it to be really tart. We don't tend to eat applesauce as a dessert. We eat applesauce with meat. So we have roast meat, poultry, duck, or in our case, pork, and we'll have applesauce with it. So I have a whole ton of apples that you saw me picking and getting from the trees. They're really good. English people watching this, they are very, very much like Bramleys, and they are for cooking. We've been told by some old French guy, the neighbour of my friend, they're for making pomme puree. So exactly what I'm making them for applesauce. And then I'm obviously just going to chop them up. I have all my old jars here. Now I don't have any posh jars. I want you to hear this. Okay, these all seal. When they seal, they suck down. So with applesauce, if I was going to just have it myself and, I was going to eat it within a month, I wouldn't water bath it. But I have recently, in fact yesterday, that's me, that's my legs, purchased a nice big pan, basically for batch cooking and for doing just this. If I have a regular supply of fruit and vegetables for making different things, preserving different foods, I will buy a big electric, what the French call a sterilizer, so that's what I'll buy. But for today, I'm aiming to make, I think, 9 jars, big jars of applesauce. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to show you first of all how I sterilise my jars. My jars are going to go into the oven at 150 and they'll go in there for at least 15 minutes, so there won't be any germs in there. Again, my lids will be brought up to boil for at least 15 minutes. There's no germs on them either. Apples have a high enough acidity, I beg your pardon, that they don't actually need water bathing, but I am going to water bath them because I'm going to put them away and I want them to last a bit longer. And this is just belt and braces, making sure there's no germs. I have my first pot of apples ready now. I haven't added any water to these, but I have rinsed them in cold water. So there will be a little bit of water dripping to the bottom here. I've got it, as you can see here, on a very low setting, and I'm just going to leave it. It's going to take about half an hour to 45 minutes to cook through, and then I'll get it in the hot jars. Let's see where we are so far. I had a huge carrier bag full of apples. I've peeled and cooked the first half. I've then got the second half in a pan. Interesting thing I've learnt about these apples today, I've had to add water. Now we've had a really bad drought here, so I'm assuming the apples are just not as juicy as the apples I'm used to. So I've added water to this. I'm going to keep cooking it down. I'd like it a bit softer than that. That would make good apple pie filling at the moment, but I'm going to keep cooking it more. And I'll mash it with my potato masher before I get it into the jars. So I'm now going to get my applesauce in my jars. If I have too much applesauce left, I'll clean some more jars and get those in. But for now, I'll just get these done. I've done 2 types of applesauce. I've done a completely unsweetened applesauce, and I've had an applesauce as well that I have slightly bigger chunks, and I have sweetened it with cinnamon. So I'm going to get filling. Hopefully it's going to fit through the funnel because it's very lumpy. So now I have my pan up to the right temperature, which will sterilise everything. I'm going to leave it in there now. The advice is 20 minutes. I'm going to leave it in there for 30 and then be really sure. And I'll just turn the heat off and let it cool down in the pan so I can take it out. So in the end, I made 9 jars of applesauce. And let's take a look at what I made here. So I've got the big jars here, and this is just apples. That's all there is in there, apples and lemon juice. And I've pureed these with my blender stick before, and that's gone in here. And these are about 2 pounds in weight, or 730, these are about 700, 800 grams per jar. And over here, I have 6 jars where I haven't pureed them, and I've added cinnamon to sweeten them. And because these have got the chunks in them still, I'll be able to take these out of the jar and pop them into a pudding that we British people call apple crumble. Maybe Americans, you might call that an apple crisp. And that's what I make. So I've got a sweet mix and I've got a plain mix, and I've got 9 jars here. And this will last us a good few months. So I was very grateful to my friend for giving me all these apples. I've got more here that I'll be doing more interesting things with. We really hope that you enjoyed the video today. Now, if you did, give it a like. If you're not a subscriber, come on in and join the Frugal family. Just leaves me to say, on behalf of Mike and I, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now.